And you are live.
Good evening. This is the Akron Civil Rights Commission meeting on January 4th, 2022 is now being called to order. It is approximately 4:40 p.m. If we could do present is Commissioner Nanette Pitts, Commissioner Gina K. Maddox, Commissioner Fran Wilson, also present from the city, John York, Nina Ost, Law Director Eve Belfant, and I appear twice on my telephone. The first item on the agenda is election/appointment of new officer. Commissioners, I believe you have received a notice from Commissioner Maddox that she is stepping down from the office of Secretary. Commissioner Maddox, is there anything that you'd like to add to that, or?
No, just what was stated in my letter. I took it at a time that things were kind of precarious for the commission, and seeing that no one was able to, and since then my job duties have changed and exploded.
Yeah, certainly that's very understandable, and we are, thank you for, communicating that to us. We are here to support one another and the commission's business. So at this time, by roll call, I'll ask that the commissioners accept the resignation or acknowledge that resignation. Commissioner Pitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Maddox?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
And I, Commissioner Thomas, accept it as well, with gracious thanks to Commissioner Maddox. That being said, we now have an opening for the office of Secretary.
Madam Chairperson, I would like, with gratitude to Commissioner Maddox, to put the other person in the space on the spot and make a motion that we appoint Commissioner Wilson if they are willing.
And I would like to second that motion if they are willing.
Oh, wow. A motion has been made, seconded. Commissioner Wilson, what say you to let's discuss this motion. I think we formally have to have an election. So at this point, you've been nominated as a candidate. How do you accept the nomination?
Yeah, I would accept. Thank you, and would do the work hopefully well. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you, commissioners. Based upon that, I would designate that we are holding an election. There's been a motion, it's been seconded, the candidate is accepted. Since we are meeting remotely, I will poll the commissioners for the election of Secretary. How do you wish to elect Commissioner Wilson? I'll start with Commissioner Pitt. How say you?
Aye.
Okay. Commissioner Maddox?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
And I, Commissioner Thomas, also vote aye. So by unanimously, Commissioner Wilson, you've been elected Secretary of the Akron Civil Rights Commission. I will let you know that you are filling an unexpired term. We have elections in July, so this of officers. So July we might be doing the same thing with regard to officers, all of the office positions. But thank you so much. And at this point, Commissioner Wilson, would you be so kind as to begin to take the minutes? I will share my notes for the opening. If you would jump right in, that'd be wonderful. Moving on to item 2, discussion of minutes. We have a little bit, we did receive those December minutes. Has everyone had an opportunity to review them?
I don't think I received those. Checking through my email.
Oh, okay. Well,
You know what?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Commissioner Maddox?
Those were forwarded in draft form to just a certain group, not to exclude anyone, but I just want to make sure they got out today. So Elaine got them, Nanette, you received them, and I think John York got them. So I did not send that draft to everyone, but I did make sure that it got out in time so that Elaine and John and yourself would be able to look at them quickly and make any material changes that you may want to make before they went out to everybody today.
Okay, I will. I see that. I thought that they had gone to everyone. That was my mistake. I will forward them. If we could, I'm going to forward the minutes to, well.
May I suggest that we add them to the minutes folder in the shared email and share them from there so that we have them as a record?
And remember, they're a draft.
Okay.
Or are you wanting us to be able to review them now and approve them now? In which case, perhaps we could just email them to Commissioner Wilson. I could do that quickly. I have them up here.
Okay. Tina, can you forward them from where you are? Because I'm having a time trying to making sure they're, and we all have ACRC email addresses. Let's see if I can forward this.
Okay, it's done.
Okay,
Commissioner Wilson.
Thank you, Commissioner Pitt.
So if we could just take a few moments to take a look at them. I looked at them, but please let's take a moment and.
Was Commissioner, was Law Director Eve Belfance at the last meeting? I thought maybe I'm remembering the meeting before.
I do not believe she was at the last meeting.
No,
I have a list of everyone who was present.
Okay, sorry, my collapsing different meetings. Look at me giving you credit, Eve.
No problem, but no, that's correct. I was not at the prior meeting.
Upon review, is there a motion to approve the minutes of December meeting, December 7th, 2021?
So moved, Commissioner Pitt.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. The motion has been made by Commissioner Pitt, seconded by Commissioner Wilson. At this point, I will do a roll call for acceptance. Or is there any discussion on the minutes? I would add on the motion. I would add that save for the word draft, the minutes are to be accepted, and we can upload those to the ACRC general one, and Ms. Stroberman does have them. That being said, are there any other comments? Okay, by roll call, on the motion to accept the minutes of December 7th, 2021, Commissioner Pitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Maddox,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas, aye. By unanimous approval, the minutes are approved. With regard to other minutes, I believe Secretary Commissioner Wilson will be working on those to finalize and bring together our some of the prior minutes that, and we can address that at our upcoming February meeting. Okay. With regard to old business, State of Conciliation on 19 ACRC 0013. I'm happy to report that the conciliation is scheduled for January 12th, which is next Wednesday. Both the complainant and the respondent I'm sensing eagerness to resolve this matter, so I look forward to that. I will report that out in February. Any questions or comments? Okay. Item B, assignment / status of conciliation 20 ACRC 00003. At our last meeting, commissioners, Commissioner Lee, having stepped down, this case still needs to go through conciliation. Pursuant to both the ACRC rules as well as the ordinance on 3810, and I'm quoting the ordinance not because I love ordinances and laws and things, which I do, but for reference for our possible audience, is that this matter, for those who were here, was initially investigated by a former commissioner, at which time this was a case that was linked to another case. Those matters went to a second commissioner for conciliation. One of those matters resolved, leaving this case. The second commissioner had to resign from the ACRC due to her appointment to another body, at which point Commissioner Lee accepted this case for conciliation. 3 commissioners. Commissioner Lee, having resigned to do some other things, this case is now available. The rules under this ordinance under 3810 under conciliation does provide that the chair may delegate the conciliation to the City of Akron's Law Department. At this time, in the interest of justice, although this has not been done previously, typically our commissioners do the conciliation. I think in the interest of justice, we need to move this matter forward. This matter is perhaps quite complex. There was subsidiary individuals and interests, and as a result, there's a number of law firms involved. Given that we are down at least one commissioner, and we have new commissioners on board, in the interest of moving this thing forward, rather than present this complainant with a 4th commissioner, I'd like to exercise the discretion permitted to the chair to refer this matter to the City of Akron's Law Department to engage in conciliation. Although, I know all the members of the commission feel very strongly that this is a citizen-led commission, and I will say that any agreement entered into or proposed would have to be approved by this body. So we are not delegating our authority to make and render independent judgments, but rather we are, engaging in with the resources available to us and the expertise that the city can bring to bear on this, as well as in the best interest of the complainant and the respondent, that they not have to, that they won't have a fourth commissioner involved. So I will assign this matter to the City of Akron Law Department for conciliation, and commissioners, it might come back to us and we have to set a hearing. So that also preserves the number of commissioners that are available should this matter go to a hearing. Is there any comment, reflection, discussion that the commissioners would like to engage in? Okay. I would ask the commissioners to acknowledge that this has not been done in the commission before, but the rules permit it, and that you are in agreement with the action. It's not really a motion, but I just want to make sure that we're all, that as a body we are in the same place. Not to put you on the spot, Commissioner Pitt, but Commissioner Pitt.
Aye.
Commissioner Maddox.
I am in full agreement.
Okay. Commissioner Wilson.
Aye.
Thank you. And I'm in agreement too, so I guess this matter moves forward. So that matter will be referred to the City of Akron Law Department for conciliation. Under status of complaints, complaints 6 through 11 are with this matter was scheduled for an initial hearing with, or intake meeting with the complainant who did not appear. This matter will be rescheduled. And I will reach out to the advocate agency that was assisting the complainant in filing this action, and I will report more fully at the next meeting. Item 721 ACRC 012. Currently, that is was assigned to Commissioner Rice. During this meeting, Commissioner Rice has attempted to call me on the phone while I live streaming. I clearly didn't take the call. I did speak with Commissioner Rice earlier today, not about the substance of the case, but that this matter is still ongoing. Okay. Item D, semi-annual report by the chair. It is now really due. I will be sending that out within the next week for review, and so we can move on to the mayor. Okay. With regard to item 4, which is new business, there are actually 2 new cases that have been filed. ACRC and 21 ACRC 014. That was filed on November 1. We as commissioners received it on November 2nd. It was omitted from last month's meeting. Okay. So that that was 14. One, and I don't know if and John sent it out on about November 2nd. I don't know if everyone's had a chance to take a look at it, but there is an item 4 where the complainant writes, I believe I was discriminated against because of, and then they have an option to choose any and all that apply. that was not completely filled out. Given this, I would, typically the law department would send out a letter to this individual asking for clarification, then they get back to us, and then it gets assigned. And so this individual's matter would then be pending until February. I'm wondering if there's, is there a volunteer to take this case now to move it forward so that this individual's housing discrimination matter could be preliminarily looked at?
Commissioner Thomas, I have not investigated a case for some time, but I would be willing to get this one addressed and meet and talk with that individual. I am looking through my emails to see if I can find the case. I have 00015, but I do not have 00014.
Right. It was sent from, I believe, from the city on or about November 2nd.
Okay,
which was
let me
the
go.
same day. Yep. Yep. It was November 2nd. Yeah, November
Okay.
2nd at 8:46 a.m. Preliminarily, thank you very much, Commissioner Maddox. That'd be great. And we'll thank you for addressing this matter. And we'll see if the complainant is still interested in pursuing their complaint. Commissioner Rice, I believe, has joined us.
Hello, how's everyone?
Doing well. Good. There you are.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but the original link was not working. So I apologize.
Yeah, no problem. I did note that you had called in while we were in the live thing, and I was unable to take the call because I'm using
No, that's okay. I didn't want to neglect my duties, so forgive me.
Well, you still have perfect attendance. Thank you, Commissioner Rice. So you're okay. So we are in item 4, new business. We did have another filing. This was case ACRC 2021 ACRC 0015, and this one came in Monday, December 13th, and so it goes on to our next case. At this point, is there a volunteer to accept this new case for investigation? I have preliminarily reviewed it. It's fairly recent in terms of the occurrence and the actions. I do know that the city will take a look at, the city will also be providing information about sending out letters and those types of things, and it's been quite helpful. Are there any volunteers? I know it's that time of year. Well,
I'll take it, Commissioner Thomas.
okay, I believe,
I think in the past, we've had a running tally. We actually had a chart and we assigned them in order of, so that everyone would have a turn, so that we would have a cycle. So I was holding back because I don't know if Commissioner Wilson would like to take a first case or wait, but I think Commissioner Rice, you've taken one more recently than I have.
Yeah,
I don't know what system we'd like to do it on, but we did have an agreement prior to our newest members joining us that we would cycle through, so there was some order to our assignment, unless there was extenuating circumstances.
Please cycle through. Thank you. Mhm.
okay. Well, I was gonna say, Commissioner Rice, I think you have a case. Commissioner Maddox will step to the case. I have a number of cases and a conciliation. I don't feel I should assign it to Commissioner Alexander because he's not here. He did indicate that he had a previously scheduled matter. I will ask Commissioner Wilson, are you able to accept this case?
Yes, I
I know
accept it. I didn't know the roll call situation on this one, so I didn't want to. For
Yeah.
sure, yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, certainly, thank you very much. You know, in terms of format and timing of things, I will certainly be able to support that, as well as the city. Some of the substantive things, we don't, the investigating commissioner does, but first steps in those things, we'll be able to assist in getting those things done. Okay. Thank you very much, Commissioner Wilson. With regard to other new, and thank you, Commissioner Maddox, for taking the case number 14. With regard to item B, revisions to the complaint form, Commissioner Wilson, I'd like if we have a few moments to discuss. Commissioner Wilson sent out some observations and insights with regard to the existing form. Has everyone had a chance to review Commissioner Wilson's email? Okay. I'm going to yield the floor to Commissioner Wilson to share your thoughts, and then commissioners, if we could give some feedback, that'd be great. Commissioner Wilson.
Yes, thank you. Just doing a preliminary review of some of our items and the complaint form. I noticed some things that could be and might need to be adjusted depending on how we view certain things and what's actionable and what's not. So I put together a little memo. It's in your email. I'll briefly go over each of the 5 points real quick right now. And then if anything's actionable, if it makes sense for us to move forward, I think we should maybe. First, and they're listed on order of where it is or where it could be on the complaint form listed publicly. Adding pronouns as a section under section 1 as part E to section 1. I know we have, gender expression as a part of our non-discrimination code. So I think following through and putting it on our forms is an important item. Number 2.2. Yes.
If I may, as I reviewed this when you sent it, there are times when I'm looking at a complaint. I'm looking at one right now, and I am uncertain how to address an email to the individual. The name is not one that I'm familiar with, so I think it might be appropriate to actually ask complainants how they would like to be addressed, what their salutations are, and I think that is consistent with the statute and general civility. So, thank you, Commissioner Wilson.
Yes, that's a good point about addressing for sure. Thank you. And
I wouldn't, sorry, if we're gonna,
go for it.
I wouldn't do that to the exclusion of asking specifically about pronouns, so that when we are interviewing the person, we refer to them with the correct pronouns. I think those two things are different. So I want to honor both. I think both are valuable. But I see the salutation as being different from the pronouns. For example, I might ask for a salutation of reverend, but still want to be referred to by she, her pronouns, as opposed to some of the other options.
Yes, yes, acknowledged.
So title versus title and pronoun. I'll make note of that. We can talk about that. Okay. Thank you. Point two was the idea of I'm just new here, so I just wanted to pitch this as an idea. I know there are certain cases that we can't pursue just because of our jurisdiction and things. Wondered if we could add things like I am a city employee or other jurisdictional problems that might, identify cases that we can't pursue, just so we can go right off the bat without doing an interview and, doing the initial intake. But I'm not too familiar with the procedure on that, so I just wanted to pitch it.
To respond, a city employee can bring a complaint if they've had housing discrimination or public accommodation. The issue becomes if it's a city employee acting against the city per se, but in their private capacity as a citizen, that employment wouldn't prohibit them. I just want to throw that out there.
Awesome.
If
Thank
I
you
could
for the
follow up,
clarification.
Madam Chair, could I speak to that for just a minute? This is John
Certainly,
York.
Attorney John York.
Yeah, generally, if the complainant makes a complaint against a governmental agency, that's going to jump out on the complaint because they're going to list that agency as the respondent. So we generally can tell if there's a jurisdictional problem right off the bat. So for that point, I don't think you'd need to change the complaint. Because as the chair said, city employees or employees of any other government agency are allowed to file a complaint. It would just be a question of, did they file it against the wrong party? If it were a government agency, then the body couldn't pursue that, pursue the complaint. Okay, so I hope that clarified.
And the same is true of parochial schools and some of the other exclusions, right? Religious entities,
Well, some of those may jump out, some may not, because there are some fine points in the ordinance about which types of schools are excluded
but
from
still
the.
the name would be there. We could figure that out. And the
Yeah.
same with the address.
Yeah, it just
We
may
could
take
figure
a
out
little digging.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the addresses tell us if they are or aren't inside of Akron.
So I think it's, to your point, Attorney John, and to Commissioner Pitt and to Commissioner Wilson, I think there's, I love the keenness of looking in how we can make this form easier and more user friendly for our complainants as well as the commissioners. I'm just wondering if, that we might be able to capture that information in other ways, moving forward. But certainly, it's something we can continue to look at should it become burdensome to, make some of those initial follow-ups. That's okay.
Yeah, I appreciate the info and hearing me out on some of these ideas as a newbie. Cool. And then moving on to point 3, adding some kind of relational component to this. I don't know if this is something that is clearly identified already throughout the form. I know it's something that can be mentioned in the description of the proposed discrimination. So, just highlighting that. I don't know if anybody has comments or ideas.
So that would be in terms of section 2. Okay. Okay. Thoughts, comments, reflections? So in the respondent, so in section 2, the complainant would identify the respondent and a relationship. Like, okay, employer, landlord, future landlord, those types of things. Okay. Okay. I don't see a problem with that because it actually, if it clarifies, this is the only form that we have, and so if it can clarify some gather more information from the 4 corners of the document, I don't see why that's an issue. Okay.
Yeah, if it's useful information, yeah. Okay. And then number 4, I noticed on the city website we have bulleted, it's 4 things. And then I think the last one is specific city contracts. And I was just wondering if that needed its own section in our form in section 3 or not. Just thought that was an idea.
Attorney York, would you favor us with a comment or addressing this?
Yeah.
Not which.
I'm not sure I understand the issue. I got to admit, I saw the email late in the day and I didn't really get a chance to do any investigation. The ordinance in chapter 38 of the code of the city of Akron talks about the types of discrimination, and I think it limits it to certain things. I'm confused. Why do you believe, Commissioner Wilson, that contracts are within the things that can be basis for discrimination?
Maybe this is just me misreading the website. We have it lists the commission investigates unlawful discrimination based on background belief and identity based on, and then it lists out 4 things, and the last thing is city contracts.
I believe there is an error on the website.
Well, I'm not sure one way or the other, but I think what the law department could do, what we could do is do some research.
No, John, there's definitely an error on the website.
So I think that perhaps we table that and then we could look at the website and then we can circle back. Because I was going to echo, I wasn't really sure what was meant by the city contracts as well. So we can certainly look at that. And
it's an inclusion,
Yep.
and on the website it's been put in under the 3 areas of discrimination. I think it was just the bullet was popped in on the wrong spot. So
But does it say on the website that the Civil Rights Commission regulates discrimination based on city contracts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's definitely an error. Yeah. So if we just need to correct that through the website department.
Oh, it does. Yep, it certainly does. Nice catch. Thank you, Counselor Commissioner Pitt. Nice catch, Commissioner Wilson, reading that. And so now we are able to address that. Yeah, it's just hanging there from before. Nice catch on that. So I think we will revisit and ask that this website be corrected. Okay. Commissioner Wilson?
Yes, thank you for indulging me. At the last thing, point 5 was adding the rental and lease legislation considerations that were passed in 2021, as well as Crown Act, which is anti-hair discrimination, to the related check boxes in section 4.
Mm-hmm. 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 You know,
Madam Chair, I would like to move that we accept the proposed changes outlined in numbers 1, 3, and 5.
Second, Rice, Commissioner Rice.
Okay. The motion has been made and seconded to address the pronouns of on the complaint, as well as adding a relationship to the piece, as well as adding to the complaint the rental lease legislation, as well as the Crown Act. Is there any discussion on that the body'd like to engage in?
I'd like to thank Commissioner Wilson for bringing these to our attention.
Absolutely. Okay. If there are no other comments, we'll call for a vote on the motion. Commissioner Pitt, are you in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Commissioner Maddox?
Aye.
Commissioner Rice?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Okay. And Commissioner Thomas, aye as well. By unanimous vote, we will, these matters have been voted to add to the civil rights, the official discrimination complaint of the ATRC. Thank you, Commissioner Wilson. With regard to, there are 2 item 4s, but actually it's item 5, reading of public comments. Attorney York, have we received any public comments?
Yeah, I checked the comment mailbox at 4 o'clock today and there were no public comments.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. At this time, is there anything for the good of the order? Any announcements that anyone would like to share? Okay. I do wish to, for the good of the order, I would like to share that for our new commissioners, and in a sense, we are all new to this work, some newer than others. Commissioner Pitt is going to be contacting you for some information, some how-tos. Commissioner Pitt, would you like to address that?
Yes, I just sent everyone an email with an invitation to respond to 3 different date options for a Zoom training that would be on the rules and procedures in general and in terms of process, to help orient and just talk through some of the steps to help everyone feel that they are well equipped. So there are 3 options that have arrived in your mailbox if you would reply at your earliest convenience. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Pitt. I will look forward to that and also participate. As we begin this new year, commissioners, you know, we continue to be in extraordinary times, and these extraordinary times call for extraordinary people. And I'm so pleased that we are entering this year with, you know, a number of commissioners who are still dedicated to this work. I will encourage all of us to do the very best we can to take care of one another, and also to follow through with reading our rules, the statute and ordinance. Certainly, those are our tools and our guiding, our pole stars, our guiding lights to doing this work. So please, I encourage all of us to read those and to mark on our calendars our meetings. Our next meeting is Tuesday, February 1st. So that's coming up pretty quickly. So I will ask everyone to mark their calendars for that. It's the first Tuesday in every month. And these meetings roll around pretty quickly. And I, you know, want to thank everyone for their continued service and their as we, address this work. Anything else?
Happy New Year, everyone.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. There's not anything else at this time. Is there? I will move to adjourn this meeting at 5:25 p.m. And I don't think it needs a second, but so we are adjourned. Have a great evening, everyone, and I'll see or